This is the Jocko Underground Podcast, number 180, sitting here with Echo Charles. We've got a bunch of questions from you all, and we will try and answer those questions, give you some guidance, give you some courses of actions to follow. And that's what we got. Let's get into it.
First question. I want to start by thanking you for your positive influence. In order of importance, I'm a father, long-term partner, and a site supervisor in a biogas plant. I've recently started using tirzepatide, a weight loss drug, as I am classed as obese and have failed time and time again at losing weight. I'm struggling with the feeling that I'm cheating, that I should have just persisted. I should have kept persisting, and that I could have lost weight naturally as I have in the past. I lift regularly, but have always struggled to control my eating habits. However, since starting, I've lost 12 pounds. I have more energy to help out my partner at home. I'm less distracted at work, and I no longer focus on dieting. And I'm about to restart Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu training.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Did I make the right decision to kickstart a positive movement, or did I take the path of least resistance?
Well, first of all, like, being obese is a medical problem, and it causes all kinds of other medical problems. Mm-hmm. And it'd be great if you could have done it without the drug, but I'm assuming you've tried everything and you've still failed. You might have some kind of metabolic condition, right? You might have some kind of thyroid thing, some kind of slow metabolic. Like, I don't know. But depending on how old you are, how actually obese you are, and what other medical conditions you might have, dude, this might be a very good call at this juncture. I know in the past, people would get medical surgeries to lose weight. Mm-hmm. This seems like a much safer option than getting a surgery. And, you got to figure people are having some real issues if they got to have a surgery. Cut open your stomach and go in there and, do medical procedures inside your body with infection. Like, there's all kinds of risk there, but people do it and have done it because they had such a hard time losing weight. So it seems like, you've exhausted other attempts to do this naturally. And I would rather have you losing the weight, getting some help medically, than have you continue down a path of, being obese and all the other medical problems that causes. I would say, let's focus on making sure we get our health back in check. Let's have a plan of okay, at this point, we're going to get off the drug. I don't know much about these drugs. I know that they're kind of all the rage right now, in the world for people trying to lose weight. I don't know if they're addictive, or if is it one of those situations where when you come off the drug, now you go put all the weight back on type thing? You're nodding your head, Echo. Is that the case?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to be careful of that. Maybe that's where you have to kick your discipline in and you get a little jump start with the drug, but then, let's get off that drug, and hopefully you can get a pathway to the future when you don't need it anymore. And remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not even I don't have any medical experience other than combat trauma.
Sure.
But I do know people that have struggled immensely with weight loss. And like I said, I'd rather have you get down to fighting weight and have the opportunity to stay there than to spend the rest of your life in an unhealthy situation, which is going to have all kinds of compounding problems across the board. So I don't think you're cheating. I think you got to do something right now to get it squared away. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think you're right. And as far as cheating goes, it's not cheating. The only time you cheat is if you're A, competing with someone, and B, there's rules to it. And when you break the rules, you're cheating. That's kind of it, real simply. But
there you go. Echo with the simplicity.
I think in regards to this, yeah, for sure. And I get it. I think a lot of us from time to time, we put in kind of these rules in our head, or these, at least these virtues in a way where it's no, I'm not going to use some drugs to help this or whatever, like you can make those rules for yourself, and I understand that or whatever. But I think what you said is more important, where if it's like, hey, if this is helping you in a way that you were failing, then hey man, and of course you got to measure the downside, all this other stuff. The thyroid thing and the genetics, like this ailment, a lot of times people who are obese, they'll say like, oh, I have thyroid thing or I have a whatever, when they don't really have it, or
really?
They don't know.
I did not know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's pretty rare. But it does happen, but it's not good practice to say, oh, it's probably my thyroid or whatever, if you didn't go medically test that and get it professionally diagnosed. Because a lot of times mentally, it can serve as like this kind of excuse, which is the core of all of this weight loss stuff. It's like, he says, struggled to control my eating habits. That was his words. It's a behavioral problem. Like that's what it, like, when the decision comes time to make that decision, he behaves the incorrect way. Time again, consistently over time. So these drugs, from what I understand, just had a fresh conversation about these drugs many, many times, but the fresh one was with Dr. Luke. And it was like, hey, they are working. They're straight up working. And Michal was part of this conversation. It was actually very funny. I'm going to use his words. But anyway, so Dr. Luke's like, yeah, they're working. They're working to basically to control your behavior with food, and it's starting to come out with other stuff as well. Now, when you get off of them, your behavior goes and normalizes back to like what it was, but the drugs are helping in that way. There are side effects. And
so what did Michal say?
Okay, Mia. And he put it perfectly, by the way. So he was like, Michal was more referring to, how like sensitivity issues, right? Like body positivity, and how you can't tell an obese person you need to just eat less, right? Because it's like, it's not PC or whatever, right? Yeah. So instead, there's Michal now. He's like, yeah, it's funny how before we couldn't just say to obese people, eat less. You can't say that. Now we say, lift up your shirt, pull out one of your fat rolls, stick this drug in there, and then eat less. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. No, but we can say that because literally that's what the drugs do. They make you not want to eat as much. Sure. You know what I'm saying? They modify your behavior to to eat less and then subsequently lose weight. And then the good news about any kind of behavior modification, it leads to other good behavior modifications. So like my sister's one of these, she lost like 90 pounds or something like this, just because one behavior kind of led to this kind of progress. And how progress like elicits dopamine, where you want like more, you want to. So they got a dog. She started walking the dog for like 45 minutes, right? You got to walk the dog. You can't just leave it inside. So that's all she did. I'm just walk this dog. After a few weeks, her clothes just are looser. So she's like, oh, let me weigh myself. I feel like I'm kind of skinnier for no apparent reason. Just because she got this new dog and she has to walk it. Boom, she's down like however much pounds, right? However many pounds. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of on a roll here and I didn't even know it. So let me start paying more attention to what see how many more pounds I can lose. See how it just leads to one, So that's the benefit of any triggering thing that modifies your behavior, whether it be some drug or otherwise. See what I'm saying? Because really at the end of the day, it's what you do. It doesn't matter like the chemical stuff or whatever. Your behavior is going to control all that part of it. How your body, how your physiology responds to it. You see what I'm saying? So if you can modify your behavior in the correct way, right, you can do it. So, hey man, take the drug. As long as you can deal with the side effects and you understand, just like I said, if you get off of it, just, hey, pay attention to that kind of stuff. If you want this thing to keep going, you got to pay attention to that kind of stuff, And I think that's a lot of times the issue is we don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. We just kind of like, oh, I feel in the mood for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. You see what I'm saying?
No good. All right. Well, get on it and modify your behaviors and make sure you track them so that is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to jockounderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms, so we are not subject to their control. And we are doing this so that we can support the Jocko podcast, which will remain as is, free for all, as long as we can keep it that way. But we are doing this so we don't have to be under the control of sponsors, and we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us. And to do that, we're building a website right now where we'll be able to utilize to strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's jockounderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@jockounderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.